Howdy, YouTube land. Yikes, I lost the feather. Yeah, here it is, hold on. Yeah, that's it. Good old South Texas. Some people get a little bent out of shape when I forget that feather, okay? All my Native American cousins and everything. Johnny Practical Nurse here, folks. I wanted to go over this little short video with y'all and explain to y'all something that I felt was really important. Setting up your Homestead Defense Rifles, people. Let's just go ahead and say that I have a little bit difference of opinion of what that means. Now, people, some would say that setting up a home defense rifle and setting up a homestead defense rifle is two different terms. A little bit, yeah, I kind of agree with that. For one thing, people, I would probably, unless it was the only rifle I could grab, I probably would not grab a rifle unless it was the only thing I could grab to shoot in my house, inside my house. For one thing, people, the noise level would be incredible. Okay, those of us that have been in combat, we know that we've had to clear out rooms and stuff like that in certain parts of the world. Okay, shout out to all of us veterans. God bless us all. 4th of July. Now that said, folks, setting up a homestead defense rifle, people, includes not just your home, folks, but the territory around your home, the area around your home, your yard, your backyard, front yard. Like me, I have a spread here in Central Texas, folks, and I set up my rifles to suit my needs, just like I will always encourage you people to set up your rifles to suit your needs, because you have people on YouTube that will say, unless you get product XYZ, it's not going to work. Bull. Let me show you how to do this on a budget, folks, okay, and explain to you along the way how much it costs, what it is, and we'll rock with that. First thing you start off with, people, it's kind of like your bare bones basic rifle, okay? Kind of like my little Bulgarian Beauty AK-74 from Waffen Works that I got from Classic Firearms. Ben and the rest of you guys, Jason, David, all you guys are awesome. It's going to start out like that, folks, and what you're going to end up with is something like this, folks. Now, let me just say this, folks. It doesn't have to be an AK, it doesn't have to be an AR, it can be whatever works for you. An example of that is the Practical Shopper's High Point. It has everything that she needs to basically defend the homestead, you know, if I'm away. It has what I call, you know, got laser, it's got a light, I mean, it's got what she needs to basically defend the homestead, because she's not going to be shooting probably past 75 meters or 75 yards, okay? So with this little thing right here, pistol caliber rifle, carbine, whatever, it suits her just fine. Plus, she says her boobs are too big to handle. But anyway, that's that's why she doesn't shoot my AKs, people. But back to the subject here. Now that I said your mind off astray there, let me show you how I do this, folks. Of course, I checked my weapon, make sure it was clear. Go over a few things here that I think are just important. Okay. While I don't try to negate all my friends or everybody else on YouTube, you set your rifles up how you want to. You spend all the money you want to. If you're doing this on a budget, people, please don't let anyone intimidate you and make you think that you have to spend this exorbitant amount of money, that if you're like me, you've got kids in college and you have a farm, you have house payment, blah, 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 you know, you just don't have the money to budget for it. I didn't say couldn't afford, because I can afford it. I just don't budget for it. I got, to me, what I feel like other things I have to budget for. So let's start off, people, with the Optic, okay? The Optic was something, people, I really felt like I needed regardless of the weather, regardless of what time it was. I just have a thing. I want to be able to identify my target, people, or my threat before I even think about putting my finger on the trigger. Case in point, one of my relatives who I haven't seen in years wanted to surprise me. Okay, so got a late flight, got a rental car. Okay, one, I didn't know he was coming. Two, didn't recognize the car that was driving down my driveway, which is about 900 feet long. Not kidding, people, it really is. Okay, didn't recognize, so I wanted, well, who the heck is that? You know, I used it to be able to see, okay, because this one is a 4-power, all right? I wanted to be able to see, recognize that face, okay, so there you have it. All right, I want to be able to identify my target, people, before I ever consider putting my finger on that trigger, okay? My Optic. Now, cost of optics, people, I don't think even on a trade that I ever spent any more than $120 on any of my optics, okay? I will sit there and say this, people, while I think those $1,200 ACOGs are wonderful, you're not going to see me shelling out for one. If somebody wants to Christmas birthday present, you know, type thing, I'm cool with that. Okay, totally cool with that. But if it's got to come out of my budget, people, my pocket, Bushnell, Monstrum, my favorite. Monstrum is short, compact, you know, 3 power, 4 power, about $100, you know, something like that. Leapers, Barska, I want to say that's about it. But they are wonderful optics, people, about $120 or less. Okay, and I have yet to break one, people. I have yet to break one. They maintain zero pretty well, and trust me, people, these things go hunting with me. They get tossed in the mud. If I ever break one, people, or any product for that matter, I promise to make a video on it. I promise to explain to you what it is, how long I've had it, what it cost, and what caused the malfunction, what caused it to break. Promise, okay, folks? We'll do that. Another thing, people, that I see people talk about is the Optic Mount. Now, people, you can spend, I'm going to say this over and over again, you can spend as much as you want. I have had this one for about 25 years, people. It is some beat-up thing that I found in a shop. I want to say it's a UTG. I have finally, after all these years, stripped out a thread in one of the little screw holes in there, okay? It is going to be replaced. My current favorite one right now is UTG Pro, the AK mount for my AKs. It has like the little lever, and I should have brought one out, but I didn't. It's got a little lever. You'll see them on my other rifles, folks, to kind of be able to slide it off and slide it on quick, like a fast relief lever. It has a rail on there that can be removed to help keep the weight down if you don't use it, get the weight off of there. Wonderful. I think they're around $55, folks, okay? All right, next thing, folks, is a light. I got to have a light for mine, okay? Now, this one right here, folks, is an Amazon find. Monstrum Tactical put this one out. I want to say it was like $17. Now, I know people, like some of you all are cringing already, but hear me out. The reason that I need a light out here when things go bump in the night or something like that, folks, is because I want to make sure that I don't step on a rattlesnake or a copperhead, okay? They really don't like it when you wake them up, okay? When you step them up and wake on them, they're not too friendly. They're kind of grumpy wake up creatures, okay? So, all right, I want to make sure that I don't step on one, and I don't use a lot of lumens. Here's why, people. These will put out, I think, around 70 to 90 lumens. I don't need any more than that for a couple of reasons. Number one, people, just enough to light up a room in case I have to use this rifle in a room. And number two, don't forget, while light can be your ally to keep you from stepping on things like copperheads and rattlesnake, it can be your enemy, okay, because it can give your position away, especially if you're trying to sneak up on zombies, okay? Get my point about zombies? Walking brain dead? Trust me, chemical zombies. Working in the ER any Friday or Saturday night, or any emergency type thing, fire department, whatever. Volunteer, okay, on a Friday, Saturday night. You will believe in zombies, okay? 90 lumens or less, people, is what I recommend, enough to keep you from stepping on something, stepping in an armadillo hole, whatever the case may be. But also, you can turn it off quick, okay, to kind of keep yourself subdued, all right? Keep your tango down range and being able to see you too well. Now, people, I like to mount them on the side because I've noticed that when I'm using this optic at night, this light over here gives me enough light to where I can see through my optic, all right? I didn't really intend to ever do that, but when I discovered that years ago, I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, people, again, $17 from Amazon, Monstrum Tactical. Really haven't had any issues of them, other than that I've noticed when I do a lot of running and gunning, I kind of got a finger tighten it a little bit, okay? Just FYI, a little bubble gum, probably just fine, okay? All right, now that said, people, let's move on to the next item. A laser. I prefer a red dot, people, because these little red dot lasers are really inexpensive. You can find them in a lot of places, Amazon. I think this one came from Walmart. I set my optic up and zero my optic up, and as long as I have the alignment on this one, you know, basically, people, the vertical part of it, I'm good to go. Reason is, people, I will zero my optic at 50 meters. Hold on, I'll explain why. And I'll zero this to about 20 meters, and not any more than that. Here's why, folks. You asked me why 50 meters for my optic. Again, Homestead Defense being the key, folks, okay? Go back in history 10 years. At what distance did every terrorist shooting around you in America, whatever the case may be, occur? From zero, point blank range, okay, think the nightclubs, people, I hate to say it, up to 50 meters, okay? 95% of them was up to 50 meters, people. When I'm out here defending my property, what distance do you think I'm going to be shooting from? All right, 50 meters, 75 meters, okay, within those, okay, but that is why I like to set my optics up for 50 meters, people. I'm defending my homestead, okay? I think it's great that people can go out 500 meters and hit a target. I do the same thing when I'm going to do it for poops and giggles, okay? But I'm going to know a majority of shooting that I will be doing to defend myself will be probably within 50 meters, all right? 20 meters or so for this. What this is, people, for me, is another weapon in my arsenal for a couple of reasons. Number one, it definitely also gives me a very shorter range and distance, okay, to see a target, to get rounds on target if I have to make that decision and take that shot. The other thing is, that laser, just like the slide sound on a pump shotgun, is a big psychological weapon in your arsenal. Nothing says get like the sound of a sliding shotgun, or when somebody's got a laser dead on the center of their forehead, or do like I do, start it there and drop it down below the pelvic line. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Watch some crackhead run when he sees that you got that red dot pointed at his boys. Okay? That is the ultimate show up to the ER, explain to the staff how that happened. Because most people I know don't dial 911, okay? Setting up your Homestead Defense Rifle, okay, people? And again, like $20, people. I think I found this one either on Amazon or Walmart. The Practical Shopper's rig that she has, people, was a Walmart find. I want to say $35 or less, people. You don't have to go spend $1,200. Don't let people convince you that only people that have a right to own a firearm or to have stuff to defend themselves are the people that can afford to do so, okay, or budget to do so. It's that simple, people. All right, folks, I'm Johnny the Practical Nurse. Until I see you all again. Questions, comments, leave them below. Take care of that firearm. Take care of yourself. God bless America. Happy 4th of July to all of us. I'm Johnny the Practical Nurse, out here.